OpenAI just dropped the new O3-Mini models, and in this video, we're putting them to the test with some really cool reasoning prompts. You're going to be blown away not just by how well they perform, but also by how fast they are. I'll even show you how quickly these models solve puzzles compared to the older O1, which honestly took a lot longer. Plus, I even built an extension using them to see how well they handle coding. So let's dive in and see if the hype is real. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out and ensures you won't miss any of the cool tools and tips we've got coming your way. OpenAI just rolled out their O3-Mini models, which include the standard O3-Mini and the O3-Mini High model. These are available to ChatGPT Plus, Teams, and Pro users, and you can access them just by selecting them from the drop-down menu. Now, free users can also try them out by choosing the Reason option, like you can see on the screen. It doesn't give much control over which model is being used, but it still lets free users get a feel for what these models can do. If we look down here, OpenAI has shared some benchmarks showing that the O3-Mini High outperforms in a bunch of areas, things like math, PhD-level science questions, and coding. And in all of these tests, it's clearly ahead of O1, which is a pretty bold claim, especially since O1 was their go-to reasoning model. Now, O1 was known for being kind of slow, but the O3-Mini generates responses way faster, which honestly caught me off guard. But as you know, benchmarks don't always tell the full story, so let's go ahead and put it to the test ourselves. So, these are the reasoning prompts I tested with the O3-Mini model. I specifically went with the O3-Mini standard instead of the high model because I read that this is the lower-end version, which means it should generate responses faster. But what really stood out to me is that even though it's the lower reasoning model, it still answered all of these reasoning questions correctly. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is the speed, how quickly it was able to work through these prompts. It was honestly amazing, and I was really impressed. For the first question, I had a 1 liter and a 2 liter jug, and I needed to measure exactly 3 liters. It's a pretty basic reasoning problem, and the model got it right. But the real highlight here is that it took only 7 seconds. If I remember correctly, when I tested this with O1, it took around 40 to 50 seconds to come up with the answer, so this is just crazy, and it only gets wilder from here. The next question was about a farmer crossing a river with 2 chickens. His boat could only carry 1 person and 2 animals at a time, and I asked for the minimum number of crossings. Again, it got the correct answer and reasoned that it would take just 1 crossing. But what's really impressive is that it solved this in 13 seconds. For a puzzle like this, that's seriously fast. Then, there's this interesting one. Peter has 5 candles of the same length, and if he lights them at the same time and blows them out one by one, which one was blown out first? The model correctly figured out that candle 3, which was the longest, was blown out first, and candle 4 was blown out last. It thought about this for 23 seconds, which is still really quick, because when I tested this with O1, it took about a full minute to answer. Next up, I tested a prompt about adding up the number of kiwis. It answered this correctly almost instantly, in less than a second. But here's the crazy part. When I tested this with O1, it literally counted each kiwi in front of me, and it took about 50 seconds to solve it. This is just crazy in comparison. Then, I tried a prompt that involved counting the frequency of words in a sentence. The O3-Mini standard model got it right and completed it in 10 seconds, which is pretty solid. And finally, we had a probability question, and this one really caught me off guard. It was a simple math-based reasoning problem, but most models tend to struggle with these. However, O3-Mini solved it in just a couple of seconds, which was seriously impressive. So, to build the Chrome extension, I used the ChatGPT O3-Mini High model since it's great at coding and logic tasks. I asked it to create a Chrome extension, and it took about 9 seconds to think through the process before generating the necessary files. It went through a brief thinking phase, but then it provided everything needed. I just copied the files, pasted them into my code editor, and then loaded them into the Extensions tab right here. Now let me show you a quick demo. Here's the extension in action. It works exactly as expected. That said, there is one small drawback. Let me show you. When applied to a page, it sometimes affects images in a way that isn't ideal, like you see here. But other than that, the extension runs perfectly. So, I was really impressed by the speed improvements in the O3-Mini's reasoning model. It's a game changer for more complex tasks, and even free users can get a taste of its power by using the Reason option. Plus, it's available on Cursor, and Windsurf has also put out a video saying that they've added it, though I haven't seen it there yet. So yeah, if you haven't tried O3-Mini yet, definitely give it a shot. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.